Hi everyone, I'm Andrew Zena Hayashi, the Asperger King, and today we're going to be reacting to the video PlayStation Just Changed the Game Industry for the Worst by Mug Thief. Let's get into it.
Today, there is no funny intro, because today, lines have been crossed. Your rights as a customer, the respect that companies had for you, or at least pretended to have for you, are being challenged.
Oh no.
Because today, PlayStation and a lot of the industry has gone full mask off. The headline is simple. Starting January 2028, PlayStation will no longer make physical copies of their games.
No, that's horrible.
Be any more discs.
I want physical copies of games.
That means all games to be sold on PlayStation platforms. They will no longer have discs. They're done. The all-digital future is here. The one where they get to control the entirety of the end-to-end experience and strip you of all sense of ownership. And the consequences of this for the industry are way larger than you might imagine. Physical publishing sites, distributors, logistics, all of them have just discovered that their jobs have an end date. And we as customers just found out that they're not hiding it anymore. They want us to not own anything and be happy. We already knew that. But now we know that they're taking active steps for that to happen. And almost as if to paint us a picture of the future that they are trying to build with everything being digital.
Boycott PlayStation.
PlayStation said that the servers for the PlayStation Store on PS3 and PS Vita would be shutting down due to incompatibility with new payment options, which means that starting July 2027, all of your digital purchases on those two platforms cease to exist, and anything that you thought you owned, you no longer do. They are showing us what digitally owning content looks like at the same time that they are telling us that this is how things will be moving forward. All at the same time that people are complaining because they are revoking licenses for movies that people own on PlayStation Network. They are now telling us, no shame, no subterfuge, that the future is one where they decide what we get to do and for how long we get to do it with the things that we pay money for. And they want total control over everything. They want to remove all possibilities of choice for you as a customer. That it's not just that physical discs are gone, it's that every other storefront is as well. As per PlayStation's decision in 2019, no retailer is allowed to sell you digital codes for games. Something that GTA 6 is getting around, but that won't apply to everyone else. You don't get to choose anymore. And this comes fresh off the heels of Hideaki Nishino, president and CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, giving an interview to Famitsu in which he said that PlayStation is committed.
Right now, it's a golden opportunity. Try this hotspot pocket device for free.
Have you heard about Ryoko Pro?
To revitalizing live service games, which on one hand indicates that they are aware that they are, well, not very vital, you could say, but on the other hand also shows that they don't care. They believe that there is so much money to be made in live services that they are doubling down on supporting them with new first-party and third-party games in what is probably the most tone-deaf statement ever made in the games industry. Especially when you consider that this interview was published one day after PlayStation announced that they were gutting half of Bungie, leaving the half remaining to work on Marathon and sunsetting Destiny 2. Still playable, still up. Who knows for how long, but
is the new Marathon going to be a remake of the old school original Marathon game? That would be cool, I think.
They would no longer be offering updates for it. They have essentially killed one of the few live services that they had that were successful out of the slate of 13 that they intended to release. Most of them ending up in cancellation with studio closures, by the way, like Blue Point, if not coming out and then promptly failing. But don't worry, Nishino says that they're investing into new IP and also into supporting old existing IP that might need a boost. You know, maybe something like, I don't know, Destiny 2? So let me just remind you really quickly that PlayStation bet so hard on Bungie, a company that they had to devalue twice through impairment, that they didn't just pick up Bungie, they also picked up the development team that left Bungie, that splintered off into their own studio to make their own game, and that studio was called Firewalk. And that game was arguably the most important game of this entire generation, Concord. And with this stellar track record, PlayStation is saying it loud and clear. The future is a digital one, where they control everything, and also, you will be playing live services, whether you like it or not. And if something isn't a live service, don't worry, they're going to find a way to turn it into one. Because you see, a lot of this stuff is about reading between the lines. Taking away discs isn't about saving money for them. Even though they frame this announcement as them doing us a favor, they're just acquiescing to the things that we asked for. 90% of sales of PlayStation are digital, so we can convince the remaining 10% to come over to digital because that is the preferred one, right? This conveniently hides the fact that a large percentage of the sales that go through PlayStation are, of course, DLCs and microtransactions for live service games, the ones that they cherish so much. While that 10% physical sales accounts for first only things that actually go physical, but also mostly to those more old-fashioned games that people want to have on a disc. Things that are more traditional single-player experiences, the type that PlayStation had been known for a very long time. But of course that number is only going to be 10% when not even Sony themselves are putting out many of those games anymore, huh? It's almost like the numbers are so conveniently skewed for them to make this decision and frame it as a logical one. But you see, a disc is way more than a way of preserving video games, or a way of you having ownership of them, the ability to resell them, the ability to lend them to a friend and have them play a game, of owning something that has tangible value that some license attached to an account doesn't have. It's about what discs represent. The Xbox One failed because they presented on-disc DRM that prohibited you from lending your games to a friend, taking away the actual value of the physical media. And because PlayStation with the PS4 ran a campaign saying that you do own your games and you can lend them, they almost won that generation outright. And here we stand so many years later, with them not just taking away the disc, but taking away the larger thing here, the choice. Discs are a way for us as customers to choose what we prefer. An option for those with limited data caps or limited internet access to play their games. An option for those of us who don't want to be blasted by advertisements the moment that we power up our $600 console. Or those of us who don't want to be upsold on PlayStation Plus features.
Indeed.
Or even for people who don't want to give PlayStation their personal data, in some countries that includes their biometric data, to a company notorious for their data breaches. Discs, physical medias, alternative ways of obtaining your games represented choice. And PlayStation is saying that you no longer have a choice. But let me tell you something, I think that we do. And I think we should choose to not give them our business. And
yes,
I know that some people will say that I'm an old man yelling at clouds. That physical was on the way out anyways, that Grandpa should get with the times or go to bed. Some people will even say that PlayStation is doing this for our benefit, actually, and that it is good for us, as they claim. And you can go ahead and defend the $4 billion company as much as you want to. But if you do so, know that it's because you are okay being considered at best a number, at worst cattle, and in both situations, a cow to be milked. Because this is not a sensible business decision. This is a declaration of war on the idea of what ownership of games is. It's saying that all we get are revocable licenses over which we have no control until all of our rights as customers are gone. Because while this announcement happened, Stop Killing Games had just received a third amended response from the ESA, the Electronic Software Association, which is fighting a legal battle for game preservation, for customers to continue to have access to games that they bought after a company decides that it's no longer profitable to provide that with service. And in that response from the ESA, Microsoft insists that Call of Duty and Minecraft private servers are illegal. You heard that right. Microsoft believes that the servers that they provide infrastructure for, the servers that you can go and make using their download page with their tutorials on how to make your own Minecraft private server. Those are illegal. That is their argument in court. Because private servers are a danger against the safety standards that they have. And I quote, that they create unsafe environments that are counter to the industry's commitment to fostering safe and fun gameplay for all players.
Please help us. We're currently stuck in a warehouse filled with Alaskan pollock, honey-glazed, spicy sesame roasted fish, jerky. Forget about those tough, heavily processed beef jerkies.
Yeah, definitely. We have to build these safe and fun environments, especially for kids, right? Especially for kids. Who's going to think of the kids, ESA?
Fucking kids.
That's what I thought. But hey, they say they have the best interests of the video game industry at heart. But who are they to say what the game industry needs? Because they seem to constantly forget that they are nothing without us. We give them money for the things that we want, not for the things they say we need. And if we don't give them that money, they don't exist. And look, don't get it twisted. I'm not here on some hippie trip. Money makes the world go round, and I think that great games deserve great sales so that the people making them can have comfortable lives and be rewarded for it and allow them to make better games that we also buy. That, and I know this might be crazy, that just makes sense to me. But it's been a long time since that's what the industry has wanted. They have wanted more and more money every single day. They have turned this into an unending gold rush. And when they've run out of veins to mine, they turned around and saw us all glowing with a yellow hue. Because we've gone from buying video games that we own to being promised that digital distribution would pass the savings on to us, to fighting to own the games that we have on disc, to now not having discs, and soon enough, not having a choice. Because PlayStation will no longer sell physical games, but they also will no longer sell digital games anywhere that isn't PlayStation. Meaning that Amazon, Target, Walmart, GameStop, whatever you might have, that might have carried actual codes, digital codes for a digital product, be that on a card or in a waste of plastic boxes with paper slips inside of them, those are disappearing. The only way to buy a PlayStation game starting in 2028 is through the PlayStation Network. And that means that if you want a game, you have to go through the entirety of PlayStation's process. From their points of engagement, to their different points of sale, to their targeted pricing, and whatever other fancy schmancy words made up by people who want to maximize profits that do not care about video games and definitely do not care about you as a customer. And none of these things are being fed back in order for us to have better games, to have better experiences. They're just being fed into a machine designed to squeeze. And this industry has long been at war with the greedy practices of corporations that are out of touch with their end customer. But this is the moment for scorched earth. And if you want to know how bad it gets, well, hi, I'm Mug, and if you're new here, welcome, and if you're not new here, welcome back. By the way, you're looking great. There has to be some positivity somewhere in this video, and you're looking great. And I do apologize for the lack of positivity on this channel recently. Somebody left a comment a couple of videos ago asking if we were still on this cycle of it's over and we're so back, and I naively answered them that I think we were coming onto a quiet period that would let me work on some retrospectives and some interesting essays. But no, I couldn't even begin to imagine how bad things would get in such a short amount of time. But listen, if you care about ownership, about customer rights, if you care about companies being forced to treat you with respect once again, please stick around and listen to the details of the plans that Sony has, of how they intend to change what video games are to serve their vision of maximizing profits. Because an informed customer is a smart customer, and that's what we need to battle these practices and shape this industry into something that provides us with what we love, good video games. This is how we defend the medium that we care about. And if at any point during this video you think what I'm saying is informative, is valuable, please hit the like button, because that helps this video reach more people, and I want people to be informed and to know how bad things are getting. And most important of all, what they can do about it. And if at any point you really like the way that I do this, the way that I cover news, reviews, essays on the industry, everything about this medium we love of video games,
I
want
love
you to
video
consider subscribing,
games.
but
I will
please don't do so
subscribe.
yet. Make sure that I earn it. I hear people out there saying, subscribe, it's completely free, it costs you nothing, and I don't think that's true, because time is the most valuable thing we
Yes,
have.
time
So
is
these
very
schmucks are here to
valuable. I
disrespect us
value my
and to
time
turn
very
pretty much
highly.
everything that we know into live services. They are here taking the first steps into a future where we hold no power, and I will not let that stand. So, let's talk.
Neither will I.
In the UK, SIM cards and expensive monthly bills are about to become a thing of the past. Since free internet technology already exists,
I need to
why
get
keep
me
letting
one of
monthly
these
bills hold
things.
you hostage?
So welcome. The first thing that we need to talk about is the fact that end-to-end control is an incredibly dangerous thing. And you might have heard this
I've
referred
heard of
to as
it.
something else, as a walled garden when it comes to companies like Apple. You've also seen how dangerous and violent that can get when it comes to legal battles and comments about monopolies and about competition and antitrust. But I think it's really important to explain these dangers in the context of PlayStation. To explain, even if you are a person that only buys all of their games through the PlayStation Network anyways, why this affects you negatively. To put it simply, the existence of choice means that the different competitors have to offer better things. This is what allows certain
Indeed.
games to be on sale at Amazon, or for GameStop to have trade-in bonuses, for Best Buy to offer deals to members. And all of those different incentives that these companies traditionally have, these incentives to get you, the customer, to pick them, are now disappearing because there is no longer any competition. As soon as this goes through, your only choice is PlayStation. But that's not even the most insidious part of it. What comes with end-to-end control is that they can guarantee the entire experience of every single person buying any game, and they can control that experience. Currently, they
I don't
need
like
to at
that.
least make an effort of making the PlayStation Store competitive. Be that in how accessible and easy, comfortable it is to digitally download a game versus waiting for Amazon to deliver it, I guess, or like stopping by a store and picking up the physical copy. But they need to actually compete with those existing avenues. But now they don't, which means that there is no incentive to make the experience even the slightest bit nice. We already live in a hellscape where different tech providers, from Windows to, yes indeed, PlayStation, have saturated their machines with so much advertisement and
I hate
AI-enhanced bullshit
advertisement.
that we can't even use our machines normally. And if you think it's bad now, wait until they know that that is your only option. The end-to-end experience doesn't just guarantee that PlayStation gets every single cent that they should, according to them, from every single purchase. It doesn't just guarantee that you can't resell your games and that when they feel like it, they can revoke the license, claim that you have no ownership and therefore even emulation is prohibited depending on where you live, and that they have the right to force you to rebuy the remaster
That's
of the game that
bullshit.
actually makes it
I
worse
don't like
3
that.
years later when they decide to do so. It's that entire experience of buying the game and getting screwed over is now in their hands. So they can push
That's
you
not
as
good
much
at all.
additional advertisement as possible. They can guarantee that anybody who is buying a game is connected to the internet, and they can serve them not just advertisements, but upsell them. That they can have different targeted marketing strategies to force different things in your face that you might like, and to force you through an experience that might stop you at every step of it and tell you, hey, this experience would be better if you gave us more money. Why don't you buy the Ultimate Edition of GTA 6? I'm promising you that it's better than the other one. I'm promising because they designed it that way, and we're going to start doing the same pretty soon. Are you sure you want to buy this game? Because without PlayStation Plus Max Expanded Ultra, you don't actually get all the benefits, so maybe you should sign up now. And they can also use that sneaky targeted advertisement to give you bonus deals on stuff. And they can make the shopping experience a nightmare. One that if
doesn't
they still
sound
had
good at all.
competition, the competition that they have just unilaterally decided does not exist anymore, wouldn't happen. Because that would have to keep them honest. If their service were garbage, people might still own a PS5, but they would go get their games anywhere else. even if that does still serve under the PlayStation and Sony umbrella. But not with this. Not with end-to-end control. What we're experiencing right now are companies deciding that we are not worth a damn, and end-to-end control in order to bleed you dry and strip you of any sense of ownership. And I've been banging on this drum for a really long time, but I think that if you want to at least feel respected as a customer, the best thing you can do in gaming is get into PCs. And sure, PCs are 99% digital at this point, but because there's competition in the market, they work hard to make you feel like a respected customer, and you still have options for preservation and ownership. And if you are looking to upgrade your PC or get into the PC market, I am proud to announce the first partner that this channel has had, because I only wanted to partner with a company that actually cares about their customers, and that would be Ironside Computers. And given the state of the economy and the market, what better way to celebrate that partnership than with something completely free? Ironside are running a giveaway campaign for their new A True Masterwork PC. A true work of art, the sorts of works of art that Ironside are proud of. Thematic to their own lore and designed by their in-house artist, one of the founding members of the company. They are giving away this absolutely gorgeous, hand-detailed PC. And this isn't an ordinary giveaway. Sure, you can go down into the link below and actually just click and sign up, and you will be entered into it. But there is also an ARG component. Thematic to the lore of A True, every week they are releasing new puzzles, and if you choose to participate in them and manage to solve them, you'll have extra entries upping your chances of winning the PC. The computer is built and shipped by Ironside Computers in the US, and it comes with 3-year warranty, 5-year labor warranty, and lifetime in-house tech support, where they promise to guide you in the right direction for your choices, no matter what. And the giveaway itself is eligible worldwide with all shipping and fees covered by Ironside. And to me, it is that warranty. It is that commitment to caring for the customer. It's their commitment to making PCs with an aesthetic sensibility that I like that had me partnering with Ironside. Because I believe that we as customers deserve to be treated properly as customers, not as consumers. And Ironside believes the same. So check out the link below and enter the giveaway, and you just might come out of it with an absolutely beautiful PC completely for free. And if you're thinking about getting a new PC, consider using the affiliate link down below and getting the treatment you deserve. And while you're at it, supporting the channel. And thank you to Ironside for sponsoring this video. And that, my friends, is the first time that I've gotten to segue not just a sponsor, but a now new partner of the channel into a video, but it's real. I think that you should invest into a PC. It's the fact that PCs, even though they are criticized consistently, and people say like, oh, all PC gamers are people who just accept every wrongdoing that Valve might ever do. No. The reason PCs are important today is that if we are leaning into an all-digital future, I want that future to include a real sense of ownership. The fact that on PC, there is an open market that you could go get your games at Epic, or through, God forbid, the Amazon launcher. That's almost worse than Epic, but it's okay. That you could get your games on good old games, DRM free, and keep an executable buried somewhere, and always have access to a game. And yes, that Steam, so far, because competition exists, has a commitment to making games on PC run to a certain degree, that they are committed to making a more console-friendly experience for people moving forward. And the fact that I can pick up pretty much any device I own at this point and play my Steam games with cross-save, with cross-everything on them, means that I actually feel like the service I am being given as a customer is good. And that's before I even mention emulation and how it is one of the very few ways that we have of having actual preservation of video games. And in some countries that actually stand by this, if you own a physical copy of a game, even if the company decides that you can't play it anymore for any reason, you are still entitled to emulate that game. Dump your ROM, play your game, and they can't say anything about it. And it might feel like we're splitting hairs here on what actual ownership is and what it means to respect the customer, but that splitting of hairs goes even further. I mentioned that it's not just about the end-to-end control of the experience, it is also about the plans that PlayStation has to keep supporting live service games. As said by their president and CEO, Hideaki Nishino. But I think that Nishino's comments about live services get a lot more worrying once you view the all-digital future that PlayStation is pushing, and once you see what he means by live service. The first part of that is that I believe that PlayStation is very aware that people do not like having their games taken away from them without them having any say or really any warning about it at all. And because the legal state of things is the way it is, we basically work on an honor system, and that honor is upheld by how likely a class action lawsuit could happen. However, they do believe that they can get away with making live service games disappear. People seem to have a better grasp of that, and they seem to be more understanding when a live service game disappears. So, if they want to be able to make every game disappear whenever they want, why don't they just make everything into a live service? I wish this were a joke.
Cracked windshield?
Me
This
too.
is your fastest emergency fix. No tools needed. Introducing the CarFix Pro Kit, the fat...
You see, in that interview with Nishino, he claims that Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, the new Arc System Works and PlayStation-developed fighting game, is a live service. And again, we come back to splitting hairs. And I think this is pretty cut and dry. Now, I may be wrong, but I think that live services are games that need to be live in order to function. Basically, games that completely depend on their multiplayer component and on the servers provided by the company. And I believe that that is not the case for a game like Marvel Tokon or for a game like Monster Hunter Wilds. Sure, these are live service games in the sense that they continuously evolve over time. They receive DLC, they receive updates, balance patches. Heck, you can look at Guilty Gear Strive 2.0. Sometimes these balance patches are incredibly transformative. But the key difference is that at the end of the day, when support is ended for these sorts of games, they still live on and exist as complete experiences. Sure, sometimes the multiplayer part matters, but most of the time, they don't. In a hypothetical future where Guilty Gear Strive stops receiving new characters and new balance updates, and they announce that, hey, we're stopping the game here, this is the last balance patch, that last balance patch of the game, even if they discontinue support for the servers, will live on. It will probably be played at EVO 30 years from now. There will be a finalized release version of that game, potentially one that they could release on discs if there weren't apparently a war on discs, for convenient preservation of this final version of the game that still has most of its value intact. When Monster Hunter Wilds finishes with the Ascendant's G-Rank expansion, and they go through the entire song and dance of putting up all the new monsters and all of the updates for the G-Rank expansion, they will announce, similar to Monster Hunter World, that they're done. No more updates, no more nothing. And maybe one day the multiplayer servers will be down as well. But if there is a version of that final patch of that game available, without any online connection, you could boot it up and have a fantastic experience, a full, complete, satisfying experience worth the price that you pay for it, probably a price that is discounted because it doesn't have multiplayer features anymore. And as a lot of Japanese companies, including Capcom themselves, have been saying, it's about the longevity of these games. It's about having them available for years and years and years, including on stuff like Steam, where you can frequently have sales for them and push them, that allows them to continue generating money. It's about the long tail of sales for not just years, but potentially decades down the line, that makes a company that is making single-player games in their majority sustainable. And in that sense, having end-of-life plans, or better yet, designing video games that one day, if there are no servers and no more updates, are still great and can still work and be sold for money, and they like money, right, is a smart business decision. But PlayStation seems to be going the route of calling things live services, even if they don't strictly fit that definition. For sure, their original plans, their original live services, like Fair Games and stuff, those were of the nature that without servers they wouldn't even work. But Tokon Fighting Souls? Calling that a live service is a stretch, and also a deviation from all of the other projects that they had said were live services. And that makes me very inclined to believe that their upcoming plan is to make sure that video games continue to have live services. At least some component of them is live, meaning that they can continuously update these games and put up microtransactions and new updates and new things. Can't wait to log into Shadow of the Colossus 2, always online requirement, and they're selling me new skins for my horse. And if we keep letting them control the end-to-end experience, the entire thing from start to finish, until they start pushing requirements for online connection to play, they will tell you your game doesn't work unless you update to the latest patch that also includes all of the latest microtransactions. And this isn't new. Ubisoft claimed that this was the future with their Assassin's Creed Nexus thing, where they would have all of the Assassin's Creed games available through a Assassin's Creed hub, where you could have different outfits and unlockables that you could use in all of the different Assassin's Creed games across the Assassin's Creediverse. Tons of little battle passes and nuggets from each game all coming together for you to use in their multiplayer Assassin's Creed game, in the single-player one, in the expansion. This whole future of a metaverse that turns even games that have no business requiring online connections to have them. And now it serves two purposes. Not only can they sell you stuff that you either don't want and don't need, or that should have been there from the start, but they can also say that because the game is a live service, once they stop supporting it, you no longer own it. When I say from the bottom of my heart that this is some absolute bullshit, I mean it. I've been around. I know where this is headed, and we cannot stand for it. PlayStation is looking to destroy what video games themselves are. They are looking to make them all digital services, things that we do not own and that slowly have no artistic value. Because it doesn't matter if there was passion or artistry or good design put into a game. It doesn't matter. It's not about crafting an experience that stays with us, that defines who we are to some point. It's not about giving more to a hobby that means so much to people. It's about creating the most optimized business method to extract more. And this is just the biggest step in their master plan. And it is a step that we cannot allow to happen. So
Indeed.
Please listen to me and listen carefully. Last time somebody tried to do always online DRM. Last time somebody tried to take away the sense of ownership that we have over video games, to erode what it even means. The backlash was so strong that it forced their competition that was in a losing state to pivot on something that objectively would have benefited them and stand by customer side. They never want to. That's not how they work, but we made them. We made it so that the smart business decision was support customers, give us ownership, and we will support you back. The tables have turned, and PlayStation believes that they can pull it off now, that the conditions are right for this. But we have seen, it's been proven that if we make enough noise, that if we take our money elsewhere, they have to back down and either obey what the customer wants or disappear. And sometimes these mistakes are so costly that I believe the downfall of Xbox can be traced back to that one moment that they said that you couldn't resell a game, and that you couldn't lend a game to a friend. Unfortunately, competition today is kind of slim, because Xbox, at least now that their fiscal year is over, is probably going to be the subject of tomorrow's very angry video, where they fire more people than have ever been fired in the video game industry. But that doesn't mean we're out of options, because we hold the power as customers and we can turn around and give our money to whoever we want. If Xbox somehow, through their nightmare of bad PR and the constant flailing collapse that they're going through, can turn this into something that they can use, support that. Support the company that supports you. Continue to set a precedent that we have started and followed for many years in gaming. If Xbox can't do it, and the market is already screwed as it is, turn around and actually invest in your hobby in a way that allows you to take control. I'm not saying that it's the easiest thing in the world to get into PC gaming, but I am saying that it's getting easier every day. Get yourself a PC, consider it an investment and a protection in a hobby that you care about, and reap all of the benefits that, we talk about all of the time about PC gaming. hesitant to say this because Nintendo and their game keycards piss me off, but at least they still offer a physical, tangible thing that you can lend to a friend or that you can resell until you can't download the game from the game keycard anymore, which will happen. Don't worry, it's guaranteed. Go ask 3DS owners how their storefront is going, but go elsewhere. Go anywhere else. And this is all calculated. GTA 6 is coming up, and that doesn't have a disc already. We're normalizing it. We're giving it all of the advantages possible for PlayStation to pull off this scummy move. And people are going to be weak. People will not want to boycott and complain about PlayStation when it's, for many people, the no-brainer option to play the big game of GTA 6. Another case of not respecting us. But I don't believe we can let them win, because it's a very slippery slope. And from here, we will mean nothing. So please, make your voices heard. Every video covering this topic should be on front page. Every tweet needs to be blasted. Every announcement from PlayStation needs to be filled with memes. The noise has to be deafening. And then the money has to go elsewhere. Because if we allow this to happen, there will be nightmares to endure. There will be cases to hear in European Parliament. Trust me, this is not going to go down well in Europe. But at the end point of it all, the ones that are going to suffer the most are us, the customer. Because this slippery slope continues down a path of greed, continues down a path of taking everything away from us. And slowly that's going to also take it away from developers. It's going to take it away from the health of the industry. It's going to betray the trust to the point that if you think that a video game crash is necessary, oh boy is it.
Indeed.
So stand up for what this medium means to you. Go elsewhere. Support video games that respect you. Play indie games. Find incredible stories and adventures. Look for them wherever you can find them. But most important of all, here at the end of this video, don't stop loving video games. Don't let the hatred and the negativity overflow and ruin what can otherwise be a fantastically stacked year of great video games. Don't let this ruin the potential of the next generation of games, or just the continuation of games. Because let's be honest, the next generation is looking pretty slippery given the RAM apocalypse and the general market of things. Just make sure that you enjoy them. Look PlayStation and their attempts to turn gaming into an obligation, into a job, into a battle pass, into an advertisement storefront, and say, no, I enjoy playing video games. Download an emulator. Buy yourself a retro handheld and play all of the video games that you love. Play the classics, find hidden gems. Just don't let the people that are trying to take everything away from us win. I've been Mug. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really angry today. And I think we should be. I think we all should be. But I thank you so damn much for watching. And I want to give an extra special thanks to the members of The Wall, be they patrons or members here on YouTube. These are the people who directly support what I do on the channel. I have it set to the lowest price that the platforms allow me to set, and it gets you up on the wall. But I appreciate that extra comfort, that extra stability, especially when I go scorched earth on some of the biggest companies in the space, even if they deserve it. I also want to thank Ironside Computers for partnering with the channel. That affiliate link is going to be there here and in future videos, so if you wanted to take a look, check out what they have on offer, make that move to PC. They're a team that strongly believes in this same message, in a commitment to making sure that you feel taken care of as a customer and that you need to get your money's worth, which is why I've partnered with them. And I'm grateful to find partners like that in the space. If you like the video, hit the like button, and if you want more from me, if you think this stuff matters, subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. But most important of all, go out there and enjoy some great video games. Don't let them win. And I'll see you again very soon.
Well, I'm going to be boycotting PlayStation until they smarten up. And you should too, otherwise you're part of the problem. Don't be part of the problem. I'm going to stick to buying and playing old games and retro games because I like older games or good games. Well, that's it for today's video, everyone. Please like the video, comment, and remember to subscribe to my channel. It's free and easy for you to do, and it would really help me out a lot. Thank you everybody who's already subscribed to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Peace out. See you in the next video. Bye.